So here's the big question. How are entrepreneurs like us, who have been hustling and struggling to make it to success, who seem to make it one step forward only to fall two steps back, who are dedicated, determined, and driven, how do we finally break through and win? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brian Kelly, and this is the Mind, Body, Business Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mind, Body, Business Show. Ooh, baby, we have another phenomenal show lined up for you tonight because of Tricia Malloy. She is waiting in the wings, ready to come on and ooze value all over your life, and that's a good thing. And I cannot wait to share her with you. Real quick, the Mind, Body, Business Show. It is a show for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs. And we only have the most successful entrepreneurs on this show. They come from all over the world. Tonight's guest is no different. She is from Atlanta, Georgia, currently. And I cannot wait for you to meet her and just absorb her brilliance. The Mind, Body, Business Show is about what I call the 3 pillars of success. And that came about due to the fact that I began focusing and learning from just successful people only over a course of about a decade. And in so doing, I noticed this pattern that kept developing, and it just happened over and over and over. And I realized that there are 3 traits that successful people had that others didn't. And that was, well, it's 3 traits that are part of this very show's title, the name of this show. And the first is mind. And what does that mean? That means they have a very positive, powerful, and most importantly, flexible mindset. Those successful people do. These are my mentors that I worked with one-on-one, speaking from stage with them, sharing stages, authors of books whom I've met personally, others who are no longer with us. The list goes on and on and on. And I learned these 3 patterns that kept bubbling up to the top. And then the second was body. Body was literally, they took care of themselves, both nutritionally, what they ingested, and also physically by exercising on a regular basis. It doesn't mean that the guys looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger in his heyday and were all big and muscular. And it doesn't mean all the women looked like supermodels. It just meant they took care of themselves on a regular basis. And it's huge. And then business. Oh my goodness. One of my favorite. They're all my favorite. Business consists of so many things. It's so multifaceted. What I found were these successful people had mastered all the skill sets necessary, not only to create a business, but to maintain it and then grow it. These are skill sets like marketing, sales, team building, systematizing, leadership, and the list can go on and on and on. And it does go on and on and on. And here's the thing. No one human, in my humble opinion, can master every single one of those skill sets that are necessary. The good news is for you and for everyone involved is that if you master just one of those, and I mentioned one of them, it was in that list. If you just master that one skill set, then you're taken care of. And that skill set is leadership. Once you have mastered the skill set of leadership, you can then delegate those tasks and things that are needed to be taken care of by people who do have the skill sets that you may not. Who knows? You might actually possess some of the skill sets that are necessary. We all possess more than one, but would it be better for you to delegate those so you can work on your business more than in your business? So leadership being one of the most important. The reason I'm hitting on that one is tonight we have a leadership expert in the house. Tricia Malloy is going to be joining us very, very soon. Speaking of very, very successful people, another wonderful trait, and this is in the area of mind, is that each and every one of them, to a person, are very avid readers of books that are pertinent to helping them to propel themselves in both their business and personal lives. And with that, I like to segue into a section I affectionately call bookmarks.
Bookmarks. Born to read. Bookmarks. Ready, steady, read. Bookmarks. Brought to you by ReachYourPeakLibrary.com.
Yes, reachyourpeaklibrary.com. You see it to the side of me. And real quick, before you go clicking away and checking these resources out, looking at these websites, I implore you, please, instead of doing that, maybe pull out this really old-fashioned thing called paper. Do you remember that? And this writing instrument that goes with it where you can actually take notes. What a concept. Or bring up Notepad or whatever application on your computer works best for you and just take the notes down and then visit the resources later. Because here's the thing. I say this on every show. I say this from stage. The magic happens in the room. It's a virtual room, but if you were to go off and look at other resources as we're talking, your attention is not on what Tricia is saying at that moment. And that could be the one moment where she gives that one golden nugget that could change your life forever. And I'm not kidding about this. So please, I implore of you, stay with us, stay on with us, stay focused with us, and just take notes throughout the show and hang in there. You're going to get a lot out of this. I promise you. I know this for a fact. I've been doing this for quite some time and had some amazing entrepreneurs on. And Tricia is no different. She's probably better than all the ones before. I just have to say that because she's the next guest coming on. I don't want her to feel bad. And I can't wait to bring her on. She's a lot of fun. ReachYourPeakLibrary.com. Real quick, what that is literally a website I had made and built for you. And I know that may sound kind of like, come on, Brian, really? Actually, yes. This is not for me, because on this site contains all of the books that I have read personally that had an impact on me, either professionally or personally, in a positive, very positive way. And so every book that I've ever read is not in this list, of course. What this is here for is for you, the person that's looking to take it to the next level. No matter where you are today, no matter your level of success, you will find something in here that will speak to you. And you'll say, I want to read that one. So with this list, at least you have a list of books that have been vetted by at least one other successful entrepreneur. So you're less likely to be guessing on your next read. And I highly recommend you just come in here, click a button. It'll take you straight to Amazon. This is not a money-making website of any kind. It's there for you as basically an online library, a go-to set of books. And I can't wait for you to take advantage of that. It's absolutely no charge to go to the site, and you just pay whatever it costs to get the respective book in whatever format you like. So go do that, write that down now, and go do that later, because we have an amazing, amazing guest coming on here in just a moment. Before we get to that, got a little spot to talk about live streaming. Hey, if you are struggling to put together a live show and it's overwhelming and you want a lot of the process done for you while still being able to put on a high quality show like this one and connect with great people like Tricia and grow your business all at the same time, then head over to carpetbombmarketing.com. Carpet Bomb Marketing, saturate the marketplace with your message. And one of the key components we literally use on this show is something that you are going to master. You're going to learn how to master this tool. It's the very service we use right here on the Mind Body Business Show. We're using it this very moment. And over the course of the past 9 years, we have tried many of these television studio type solutions for live streaming. And I'm here to tell you, I'm a tech guy, and StreamYard is the best of the best. It combines supreme ease of use along with unmatched functionality. Start streaming high quality, professional looking live shows for free with StreamYard right now. Visit the website, ryp.im/streamlive. Later, visit it later, write that down. RYP stands for Reach Your Peak, ryp.im/streamlive. And now, guess what time it is? You guessed it. It's time to bring on Tricia Malloy here.
It's time for the Guest Expert Spotlight. Savvy, skillful, professional, adept, trained, big league, qualified.
And there she is, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Tricia Malloy. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. I love your enthusiasm. Thank you, Brian.
Oh, this is amazing. Thank you for spending your very valuable time, not with just with me, but our audience, all of those that are going to watch us live, and those that will see the recorded video, those that will see us on Roku and Amazon Fire TV, those that will listen to us on 25 podcast platforms. I can't wait for them to divulge the information that you are about to share. And what I want to do real quick is mention one more thing for everyone watching that stays on with us live to the end, is stay with us to the very end, and you will find out how you can win a 5-night stay at a 5-star, there's 2 5s, luxury resort. All compliments of our pals. You see them on the upper right of the screen if you're watching, thebiginsidersecrets.com. So stay with us to the end, and you can enter to win that. Now I'm going to bring this lovely lady into the picture formally and with respect. Tricia Malloy is an expert on developing a positive mindset to reduce stress, achieve goals, and enjoy better balance. She shares her strategies as a virtual on-site leadership speaker at companies and conferences, a coach, and the author of Working with Wisdom. Tricia works with organizations like the Home Depot, Marriott, the CDC, and the Network of Executive Women. Wow. Her interactive, customized programs are CRAVE Your Goals, 5 steps to reduce stress and get things done. Oh, how many of us could use that? Better balance, the why, what, and how of work-life integration. That's another one. And the picture this vision board workshop. I can't wait to talk about that as well. With that, now I formally and humbly welcome the amazing Tricia Malloy to the Mind Body Business Show. How are you doing this evening,
Thank you,
Tricia?
Brian. Doing great. I have not stopped smiling since I met you tonight.
And you know, that goes both ways, because when you came on, you were just this beautiful light of smiling joy and energy. And I felt this instant connection. And it's interesting because I find that with most of the guests that come on this show, probably all of them. And it's just this wonderful way that the show has continually brought in higher and higher, what I call influencers, onto the show that have achieved greater and greater success. And we'll talk more about that later, because there's this misnomer about people who have achieved success that has been propagated by television shows, media, etc., that is completely false, completely wrong. Well, we might get into that later. But first, what I want to do is ask you questions, because this show is about Tricia Malloy, her brilliance, her excellence, her attention to detail. She does nothing unless it's of high value, period.
Well, don't talk me up too much. I would hate to have to live up to that level. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, I think the easy part is you've already exceeded that level. So you're going to have to drop it down by the time I'm done. That's the problem. So the accolades, I mean, look at the companies you've worked with. I mean, Marriott, CDC, Home Depot, all of these big, household names that people can understand. And that's huge. And people are going, wow, Tricia, she's a mover and a shaker. And you are. And what I like to do, though, is kind of step back a moment and peel away the onion, because in my humble opinion, the first word of this show's title is mind. And I believe that is the most powerful asset any of us have on this planet.
Sure
and I believe it's responsible for all of our levels of success, whether there is success or lack thereof. It's all up to our own noggin. So what I like to do is tap inside that beautiful brain of yours, Tricia, and find out what makes you tick, what makes you successful, just as those that I had studied before. So when it comes to getting up in the morning and having that motivation and drive to take on the next day, because let's face it, being an entrepreneur, tain't easy, people, tain't easy. There's a lot of things, roadblocks that come up. What is it keeps you going day in, day out, night in, night out, with all of these challenges that face you every single step of the way? What is it for you that gets you going?
Well, I write and I speak about all these strategies. So when I think about that, I probably would start with what I'm saying to myself, positive affirmations. We're all affirming all the time, but most of it is negative. And so if we're aware of what we're saying and we can switch it to that positive and speak to ourselves like a coach or our best friend would be. And I think that's really where I start when I wake up in the morning, even when I know the day might be kind of crazy. If I can just start to talk to myself about looking forward to the challenges and also the opportunities. I think that sets the tone for the rest of the day. It's funny when you ask a question like that, I have to really think because so much of it is automatic now. And it's interesting too, when I first started speaking about things like affirmations, I just assumed everybody else used affirmations as well. They might not have called it that. And I remember one person said to me when I was speaking to a group, he said, I never would use an affirmation because I don't want to jinx myself. And I thought, well, that to him, that was his reality. And that was a concern. And it made me stop and think, but I would never imagine jinxing myself. I want to build myself up so I can, do what I need to do.
Yeah, that's kind of a shocking revelation there. It's like, wait a minute, what do you mean? It's doing the opposite.
Right.
Yeah, I love how you said that. It's good for us to talk positively about ourselves because aren't we all our own worst critic at all times? And isn't it okay to give ourselves permission to pat ourselves on the back?
Yeah.
Because, I did this in the fitness industry. We were talking about this a little bit before the show, Tricia, where, I'd have my clients go through exercises and it would just give them how many repetitions to do on each one. Let's say it's push-ups, something everyone knows. Do 10 of them. And then I'd get on the call with them. How did you do? Because these were virtual and off. They did it on their own, following recorded videos. And then I'd get back to them and say, well, I'm just failing. I said, what do you mean you're failing? And they're kicking themselves in the butt mentally, right? Well, I only did 5 push-ups. I said, well, let me ask you something. Did you actually put in everything you had to get 5 and you just flat out could not do the 6th one? They said, well, yeah, I tried as hard as I could. I said, then you're a success. Pat yourself on the back.
Yeah.
Pat yourself on the back for the reps that you did do.
They did their best.
For the reps that you did not complete. Don't kick yourself in the butt.
Mm-hmm. And
that's how we all are, isn't it? We want to be perfectionists and check every box.
Right.
And, I didn't, we have very high standards of ourselves, don't we?
We do, which can be a real curse too, right?
Yes, it is a curse. The thing is, there's one thing, it's okay to strive for perfection, but know this, you will never achieve it. It's impossible.
Right. And for those
in my humble opinion, only one human being that's ever walked this planet had achieved perfection, and there never will be another.
Right.
Go ahead.
I was just thinking for those who are reluctant to start something, because it's not perfect. I know a long time ago, a coach had said to me, version 1 is better than version none.
Ooh.
And that always stuck with me. It's like, it's not going to be perfect. I understand that, but let's just get it out there and then go from there. Whether it's a book or a website or a business, starting a business, just do it. Just do it. And you can keep improving on it,
And that will take you to version 2.
That's right.
Exactly. And being perfect is the last thing that will get you there because it's not going to happen. All right. Donald Barrett is watching. Great show. Donald Barrett is the infomercial king. Amazing gentleman who has crushed it in the infomercial world. And I get the joy and pleasure of working with this guy. He's an amazing guy.
Hi, Donald.
Lloyd. Hi, Donald.
Oh, there's Lloyd.
Lloyd Lofton. Wow, he's looking a little stoic in this picture, but Tricia is this positive with everyone. She is this positive with everyone. A great resource all the time. Love listening to her. And yes, Lloyd, you were on the show some time ago and you were amazing as well. So thank you. The reason Tricia is on this show is because Lloyd referred her. Thank you, Lloyd. That was amazing. And the one before, just last night, or Tuesday, 2 nights ago, was Colonel Waldo Waldman.
Yes.
Also referred by Lloyd. Thank you, Lloyd. You're like a one-man show. I was going to say a wrecking crew, but that's negative. I don't want to say that.
One-man booker for you.
There you go. He's awesome. So I was talking about fitness a little bit, and it's very important. And I've just interviewed so many people. It's universally important to those who have achieved success because that's part of the ingredients for getting where they are. How important is it to you personally, for your business and then also for your personal life?
Oh, sure. So, talk about reducing stress. If you can get out there and go for a walk. My husband and I play racquetball at the Y a couple of days a week. We do a lot of gardening. That can be pretty intense when you get going. So, yeah, to me, it's you need those breaks. You need that opportunity to reduce your stress by just getting a good sweat. So I'm a big believer in that. So important, especially these days when we're sitting in front of our computer more than we used to on Zoom call after Zoom call. I mean, even just walking around the house or doing some stretching, it makes a big difference.
Totally agree. And yeah, it is more challenging now because gyms aren't open. That a lot of people, and I know this from being in the fitness industry, they preferred going out of their home to go into a gym because of the energy that they fed off of with everyone else doing the thing. And it was interesting because I'm like, well, but it's so much more convenient to work out from your home and we have all the tools you need. Why wouldn't you do that? That was the reason. They just enjoyed being around people.
Mm-hmm.
So that can be a challenge, but you know, with every challenge, successful people find the solution, don't they?
They do. Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I have interviewed a lot of people during this shutdown period, and it's interesting that the level of success that each entrepreneur is experiencing is now greater than before the lockdown ever occurred. Their businesses have actually grown, mine included. It's amazing. And it's just a testimony, I think, to entrepreneurs who are successful that, you know, you take any bad situation and you look for opportunity. There's opportunity in every horrible situation, always.
That's right. Everyone's looking for a solution to a problem.
Yeah.
And that's what we do, isn't it? It's, in essence, what a small business owner does is solve problems.
Successful one, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I wanted to find out more about you and your business. Now, you're a leadership expert, and as I recall, you work with corporations primarily, and you have all these.
I work with large companies, but also some small businesses too. When I think about, you know, what the similarity is, it's about organizations that invest in the development of their people. So it could be some large companies, but I also work with some smaller businesses as well.
Yeah, I could go off on such a great tangent here because this is one of those missing links I often find that leaders or owners of companies don't seem to think to take the time to invest in their people, and in ways that you're talking about. So what would be an example of something you would go in to help a corporation or an organization that is investing in their people? What are the things that you do for them, and what kind of results have you gotten for them?
Yeah, so right now I'm doing a good deal of virtual programs. I try to keep them very interactive, very customized. So I make sure that people are engaged because it's more challenging when it's online. So it's either, the CRAVE Your Goals or Better Balance. I've even done vision board workshops online as well. But I've done this year some on-site programs as well. So a law firm in Atlanta brought me in for about 20 of their people to do a vision board workshop. And one of the things that she said is, she'd been working with her team for a few years now, and she didn't realize, she learned so much more about what motivates them and what their goals were through that process. And she said she found out that a few of them were fairly young, and they wanted to own their own homes. And so just from that experience and getting to know them a little bit better, she recognized that she needed to introduce them to, a mortgage broker that could help them move forward. And she said, I would never have known that if it hadn't been for the program. So a lot of what I do is, I'm a good conversation starter. I get people thinking about stuff that maybe they hadn't thought about before or were avoiding, making changes and all that. And I find that, I provide a platform that allows them to get to know each other in a way that they would never have before, even though they work together.
I love that. It sounds so much better than one of those retreats where you go out and you do kumbaya together and get around a campfire and sing songs. And I remember my dad telling me about one, and he came back very visibly upset. He did not like it. There's a different word than upset. He was ticked off, another word from that. But he did not like it because they had us stand around in a circle and just touch each other. I didn't like that.
Oh, yeah. That
And, they were just
everyone.
basically holding onto the shoulders, but he didn't like
trust exercises and stuff. Yeah.
And so what you're saying, and that's phenomenal. One of the outcomes I just heard from you is that the leader became more caring of their people because now they knew more about them. And what did connecting them to a mortgage broker have to do with the job at hand? Nothing, right?
Right.
And that's the beauty of it. There was a human connection made there that made the employee realize that their leader actually did care about them. It was just a matter of getting to know them.
Yes.
That's
and
huge.
That's how you attract good people, and that's how you keep them.
Oh, this is wonderful. Because, for any entrepreneur that's out there listening, watching right now, if you're a solopreneur, from this day forward, make it your intention to scale your business by bringing on help. And what that will mean is you'll need to make more sales. I get that. And it may take some time, but put it in your mind now, and then start acquiring the leadership skills that will be necessary to then handle that when you bring them on. And to do that, listen to this young lady right here, Tricia Malloy, to learn how to do it the right way. This is a breath of fresh air. I've never heard of a direct result like that before, where it took it out of the office in a positive way. That's phenomenal. Oh, this is fun. So you have been doing this for quite some time. I want to talk about the vision boards. Those just intrigue me. So you do physical vision boards, I'm assuming, when you're with them. And when it's virtual, how does that work? How do you do a vision board workshop on, say, Zoom with other people?
So I use a Google Suites app called Jamboard, which is a digital version of a vision board. I always prefer the old-fashioned way because I love the idea of flipping through magazines, cutting out pictures and words and phrases and getting your glue stick out. It's kind of like kindergarten time when anything was possible. I like that, but we can't always do that, especially now. And so the virtual one is a good alternative. And what's nice about it is, like, one of the ways that I give back is I once a quarter, I do a vision board workshop for an organization in town called Wellspring Living. And they rehabilitate survivors of sex trafficking. So each quarter they have a 10-week women's academy, and I'm week 3. And I do a vision board workshop for these women, usually about 20 to 25 at a time, and help them to picture what their life will now be looking like as they move forward and get all this support. And so we used to do it in person. And so the last 3 quarters, it's been virtually. And so we do it the same way. And they sometimes have, when you have Google as your magazine, you can pull as much as you want to create these boards. And at the end of the program, and I start with my CRAVE Your Goals program, because V in CRAVE is for visualize. And I talk about some of the other strategies that they can start using. And then at the end, we do an impromptu show and tell. And that's really where the power is, because these women have a chance to talk about their boards and the insights that came from creating the boards, and basically what their goals are. So they're communicating that to themselves, they're communicating that to their subconscious mind to get them focused in going in that direction. And they're also communicating that to the other women in the group and the staff, so that they'll make note of that to help them achieve those goals, and to provide some direction, some resources, that type of thing. And you really can't, to me, there's no other way to kind of mine that, to tap into that. It's not like, well, here's my list of goals, or let me tell you about my goals. When you put it down on a board, there's so much power in that. And it just starts conversations and allows people to be open to support.
Yeah, it's so similar to the same area as getting up and saying affirmations, like saying them out loud is much more powerful than reading them to yourself. If that's how you're doing it, is you have a list. And wow, when I was doing that on a regular basis, which you have reminded me, I need to get my butt back to doing that, because my morning routine got all messed up, and that's on me. But wow, I would notice amazing things would happen very soon after making it a habit. I mean, days, not weeks.
Now, did you have a go-to affirmation? Did you have a particular phrase that you would say most of the time?
There was some repetition, but the affirmations that I read took 20 minutes to get through them all.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So it was a lot of positive juice, great stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, 20 minutes. That's probably part of the reason I got out of that habit. Because
You might
20
wanna-
minutes, I got stuff to do, man. Let's get this over with.
Yeah, you might want to.
Another tip for people if they have a long list is to record themselves reading it. And if they play it back, it's their voice. This is also very powerful in the world of hypnosis and NLP, is if you're listening to your own voice taking you through a positive process, it ingrains deeper in your subconscious. So that's something I also did. You know, I'd put it in the car if I was going somewhere in the morning, and I'd say, oh, I'll just listen to it this morning. But it would be my voice.
Yeah, and you can record it on your phone. I mean, it's so
Right.
easy these days to do that, right?
Yeah.
Great idea.
And so I love the whole concept of affirmations, of vision boards. I'm the kind that I'm about efficiency. Let's get her done. I'm not going to go cutting things out of magazines. I'm the one that goes to Google magazine, like you said. I like that. And just search for images and then pull them into like a PowerPoint single slide or multiple slides.
That works. And then print it out if you think makes sense so you can post it somewhere.
Yes.
Take a picture of it or have it as a JPEG so it's on your phone or your iPad, so you can look at it when you have a chance and show it to people that you trust, to let them see it. Now, I'm curious, Brian, around this vision board thing. I would assume you're familiar with the reticular activating system?
Yes.
Okay. So I often, especially when I speak to when I do this program for the CDC. And so I, basically have an audience of mostly scientists and medical professionals. And so I explain that there's a function of your brain called the reticular activating system, or RAS. And when you create a board, you program your RAS. You say, this is important to me. And it just naturally brings that information to you. And I say, the way you can relate to it is think about the last time you decided to buy a car and you picked out the make and the model and perhaps the color. What was the next thing that happened? You saw the car all over the place, right? In the parking lot, on the roads, even in commercials, simply because you programmed your RAS. You said this was important and it brought that to you. So imagine that with a vision board. And, we get so distracted most days that we need those kinds of tools to keep us focused on what's most important.
You just said the word. I was going to bring it up. That was awesome. What timing? And it was an F word, but not that kind. Come on, people, get out of there. It was focus.
Focus.
Yes. We would train this from stage all the time. I do this with from my mentor's company and train his students. They were our students. But the thing is, if you daily focus on, and pardon the term, crap, if you focus on crap day in and day out, guess what you're going to get more and more of?
Yes.
That's right. Crap. Now, if you focus on the great stuff and good stuff and things you want, things that you desire, guess what you'll get more of?
Mm-hmm.
And now what Tricia is telling you right here and now is exactly that. Focus on what you want and put that on a vision board. Put it in I don't know why I didn't do that yet, Tricia. I did not put it up anywhere in my office. I'm doing that tomorrow, first thing. I'm going to print it out and I'll just stick up a sticky thing for now. I'll frame it later. And that'll be something I can remind myself of every day I walk in. But yeah, you get what you focus on. So ask yourself, what is it you're focusing on primarily right now? Like not this second, but throughout your day. Wake up with an attitude of gratitude like Tricia does with, and that brings affirmations.
The gratitude thing is another big piece of it. What you focus on expands, what you appreciate appreciates.
Mm-hmm.
And, it takes some time to program yourself to think that way, but boy, does it make all the difference in the world. I mentioned the program that I do called CRAVE Your Goals, and it's 5 of the 10 principles that I wrote in my book. So it's clean out the clutter, physical clutter, emotional clutter, technical clutter that gets in the way, drains your energy, keeps you from doing what's most important. And then you have raise your energy. And I explain that energy management is just as important, if not more so, than time management when it comes to goals. A is for affirm success, your positive self-talk. V is for visualize. And then E is for express thanks. Like you said, cultivating that attitude of gratitude. And it could be as simple as just writing in a notebook a few nights a week what you're most grateful for that day. Include one unique entry, and that gets you going during the day, going, what am I going to add to my gratitude journal? It's all about just kind of programming yourself to think that way. And if you can find a CRAVE buddy to do that with, that even makes it even better, because there's accountability there and you can have fun with it. You can learn from each other.
You said this is in your book?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you happen to have a copy of that available to show folks?
Yeah. So the book is called Working with Wisdom, 10 Universal Principles for Enlightened Entrepreneurs. And you can get it on my website. And then we're going to do I think we're going to do a giveaway later. I did an ebook just on the CRAVE Your Goals program, and that's available too on my site.
That sounds phenomenal. I can't wait to get a copy myself. I love reading, especially from amazing people like yourself. And you talked about how this attitude of gratitude and all of these things that you do have become kind of automatic. And the reason they have become automatic for her isn't because it was easier for her than it was for you, is because she practiced. She went through repetition. Like Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player arguably of all time, he didn't get there because of just sheer raw talent. He had plenty, but he took it and refined it. And he was not going. I mean, if anybody has seen his documentary lately that was on ESPN, wow. But the thing is, repetition is the key to mastery. Anything that is worth achieving in life takes work, takes effort, takes repetition, takes practice. Here's the model for that right here. Tricia Malloy. I'm pointing at her for those of you that are listening on podcasts. And I love CRAVE. What a great acronym. I love that.
Thank you. Yeah. I wanted something that was juicy and emotion packed. I wanted an acronym so people could remember it and practice it and share it with others. Often a client will say, now we have a common language. When we're in a meeting and we're working on objectives, we can come up with an affirmation, or we can do some visualization. And so, it's just these tools that everybody needs tools. But, if you have goals that you say are important to you, this is what you need to do in order to achieve them. Otherwise, it's just a dream. So, I've had a marketing business for 32 years now, 32 years. And, ups and downs and lots of challenges and rewards. And I guess that's probably what prompted me to write the book, because I'd been doing so many of these strategies. I've been using so many strategies with my marketing business that clients and colleagues used to say to me, well, that's an interesting way that you dealt with that challenge or that opportunity. And they'd start to ask me about it. And I realized, this didn't necessarily come naturally to everyone. So that's when I thought, well, let me put this in a book and maybe help some other business owners to make that journey a little easier for them.
And that was a great embedded tip right there. It's like we have so many, each of us individually have so many gifts, have so many great talents and skills that we take for granted, don't we?
We do, because we're so close to it. We just think, that's just comes naturally to everybody, but it doesn't. And that sometimes is the foundation of creating a business, right?
Yeah.
Just like what you do.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is, though, just because you have that skill and that gift and that ability doesn't always mean that other people want to buy that knowledge. So be sure to test it in the marketplace first. Take polls, bring in beta test groups, whatever, before you go embarking on spending a year and a half of your life, like I just did, in putting together a very comprehensive program, which I proved ahead of time, just saying that the marketplace wanted it. But please, that I wanted to impart on people real quick, because I've seen so many people with that shiny object that they thought of that this is the coolest thing. I was like, yeah, it is pretty cool, but have you actually proven that people want it and would pay money for it?
Right.
Like, you may want to do that before you jump into spending a year and a half of your life putting it all together. It's so much. People think it's just, I'll just build it and they'll come. I just finished a year and a half, and I knew, and I told my wife this, I said, this is just the beginning. I've just now got to the point where the real work begins, the
marketing.
Yes. And it's now time to market. And I'm diving in with everything I've got, developing all sorts of great things to market it. And I
Good
may be
for
calling
you.
Tricia. I may be calling this marketing whiz right here to say, hey, what do I need to do that I'm not doing? Because she's amazing. She is an expert at marketing. And she said that came automatic to her. I'm like, and this is before the show starts. Like, what? It doesn't come automatic to anybody. You've got something. You've got something big.
I love marketing. And for a number of years, that's all I did, mostly with small businesses. And then when I wrote my book and started my speaking business, I literally had to stop and say, okay, Tricia, you've got a speaking business that's going to take a lot of time and energy and confidence and persistence to build it and to make it work. You could go back to your marketing because it came so easily to you, and you'd be very busy doing that. Or you could stop most of your marketing services and just focus on getting the speaking business going. And so I kept one service for my marketing business because I love it so much, and it ties into my my talk about the power of gratitude. And I interview my clients, and I write their testimonials. And I absolutely love it. I've done over 1,000 testimonials in the last 25 years. And I just love when a client gives me a list and I interview them their clients by phone, and their clients are so happy to talk to me because they're like, I've been wanting to write a recommendation because I really love this person. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to write it. And so I kind of take that pressure off of them, and it's great. I'm really glad that I kept that one service because it really ties into my speaking business, and it just fits well together.
I mean, come on, writing testimonials for her client's client. That is genius. I've never heard of this before. I love that. And over 1,000. Good gracious. That's phenomenal. And you said speaking business. There is so much gold here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, because realize that she has a speaking business. Every person, every successful entrepreneur should have that as a component, at least as a component in their repertoire, is speaking from stage, whether it be from stage, whether it be from live video like this. And I did say live because there's a whole different dynamic when it's live, and you can work your way up to that. And yeah, does that take you out of your comfort zone? Oh yeah.
Well, okay. So my advice there is join a Toastmasters group.
There you go.
So I'd spoken over the years with my marketing business, but not as a paid professional speaker. And so I decided when I was writing the book, I wanted to be a better speaker. So I started going to Toastmasters, and I didn't know what I did not know. I could not believe how challenging it was when you want to do it right. To me, it was almost like juggling a bunch of balls, and making it look seamless. There's so many elements to a good speaker.
Yes.
But it takes practice, and it's a humbling experience. But a Toastmasters group, you're with people who get you and that are supportive. But if you're in a good group, they will be honest with you. And it was hard at first, but I'm glad I did that. So I'm always recommending. And there's a lot of different business models when it comes to speaking. You can speak to market yourself, where you're not really looking to be paid for it, but you want to be in front of groups that can then hire you. And then, of course, you can have a speaking business that's your business, is getting paid to speak. So there's a lot of ways to do it. Yeah, I'm always cheering people on because it's so rewarding when you have something to share and you can share it well and inspire other people. I just can't think of anything better. And I often have said to friends, I'm glad I didn't know how hard it was to build a speaking business. I'm glad I was naive about it because I might not have ventured into it. And I'm so glad that I did.
And I know so many other people are, as Lloyd just stated, that she served as the marketing director of Georgia National Speaker Association, and she gave her time to teach these exact principles. And when you do what she suggests you do, you get results. Smart woman. I concur.
Thank you, Lloyd.
And
I owe you lunch.
Oh, I can't tell everybody how important and how incredible and what a game changer it is to get into speaking. And yeah, like she said, like Tricia just said, it's not easy in the beginning. And even after the beginning, you're constantly looking for ways to improve.
Yes.
I'm going to be absolutely honest. The reason I started this show is because I needed to hit the reset button on public speaking and get my platform set. But I missed public speaking so much. I said, well, this is my Band-Aid fix. This helps me to continue to hone my craft. It's very different. Don't get me wrong. Standing from stage, maybe even wearing pants, because right now I'm wearing shorts. That's TMI. And shoes and all that. But the energy, the back and forth of the energy of the crowd, you can see their reactions as you're talking. You can see those who are falling asleep and wake them up, and all that good stuff.
And call on them.
Exactly. And all those techniques that you learn over time, and how to pre-frame everything so that you are the one in authority and you don't get those hecklers. And there's so many. I love everything about the seminar business. Selling at the back of the room at the table, every aspect, setting up the speakers, setting up the stage, where to put things, all the little meticulous little details, and then the art form of speaking itself. Oh my goodness, I am so amped right now, Tricia. We shouldn't have gone down this path.
Yeah, and don't you miss being in front of an audience on site?
Yes, absolutely.
I can't wait to get back to that.
Back there. There's nothing like it. And then to be able to do something that actually empowers and helps people, because when I was speaking, I was taking people through literal NLP processes, and I watched as their lives changed in front of me, as mine had done before them. And I was just, it's so fulfilling. I get goosebumps, and it's like, oh, look, I can see the emotions coming, because they're going through that transition right then and there. And it took 7 minutes per process. It was fast, it's quick.
Wow.
Just to help people, to give them something that they didn't have before, maybe to give them inspiration, whatever it happens to be. But they are a changed person as a result of your message. That drives me hard, because I love helping people.
And then this ripple effect, who they share that with, their family, their friends, their colleagues at work. Oh my gosh. We're very fortunate, aren't we, Brian, to do this type of work?
Blessed.
We're very fortunate.
I love what I get to do.
Yes.
Absolutely. Oh, you are so fun. I'm having a blast. Thank you, Lloyd Lofton. You are an amazing gentleman. You have brought in some amazing people. I appreciate that.
You're going to blow up his bobblehead.
The spring just went. For those of you that are listening on a podcast, his little avatar on his YouTube channel is a bobblehead of himself, a little plastic doll.
It's a very realistic one.
It is. It looks really good.
Yeah.
It looks really good. Okay, this is one question that I've been dying to ask you from the beginning, right when we started talking, when you said how marketing was so easy. I was just like, oh my goodness, you are amazing. I cannot wait to learn more about this. So here's a question for you. And what I wanted to do is ask you this question in light of what is working for you now, not what used to work, because often what used to work 5 years ago doesn't work today anymore. But when you go about marketing your business, what has been your most successful form of marketing? What is your go-to right now? What is working best?
Well, certainly if you want to speak, each time you speak, it allows you to do more speaking. So that's a big part of it. I have processes and systems in place. So whenever I do a presentation, I'm automatically the week later interviewing my client to find out what worked, what might I have done better so I can keep improving. But I'm also pulling information to write a testimonial for their approval, so I can include that in my marketing and my social media and all that, because I think that's very important for, especially these days, people want to know what you've done for others in their own words, especially if you have a review sites and that type of thing. So I include that on my website in a section I call references. I'm trying to think of what else I would say. I think LinkedIn for me is very powerful. So whenever I make a connection, whether it's a virtual networking event and I feel like I have a connection with someone, I'll automatically invite them into my network and then start a conversation. But a very, lately though, I don't know if you're finding this too, LinkedIn it's getting, I don't even know what the word is, just a lot of people trying to sell you stuff before they even know who you are.
Yeah.
And that's not how I would ever use it. I would mostly use it to connect, and then just to start conversations and see how I can just help someone through a resource or a reference or something like that. And then if it develops into something more, that's great. But it cracks me up, because a lot of these people who are pushing their products and services on me without knowing me are supposedly marketing or lead generation experts.
Right. Who isn't?
Yeah. So hopefully that'll die down. But right now it seems to be pretty heavy.
And
This year.
I've been seeing it myself more, and I've been hearing it more by people like you as well, that it's definitely on the rise. What I liken it to is, so a physical seminar back in the good old days where people would show up, you'd fill the room with, anywhere from 200 to 500 or more people. Then you'd have breaks. You have breaks that, you do a 90-minute session and there's a break. Now people are doing what? They're networking. And I'll never forget at one such seminar where I was actually helping out with the main speaker. I would sit in the back, 2 rows from the back. And there was this one guy, this one person, when I first walked in, when I first got there in the day, he's like, "Oh, hey, here's my business card." And, and I'm like not grabbing for it. "Come on, take it. And just to get him out of my face, I said, "Okay." And then he walks away. I don't know anything about this guy. He just like, "All right, what was that all about? Why do I need your card? I don't even, you don't even know if you have anything that would help me," or vice versa. We had no conversation. Yeah. And then the next day, hey, here's my card. I was like, "Are you kidding me? You already gave me one. Just take it. I already have it. Just take it."
Like he has a quota of giving out so many cards without anything after that.
And it gets better. The third day.
Oh no.
I'm the second from the back row. I didn't know it at the time until I got the tap on the shoulder. He was sitting directly behind me. The speaker was still speaking, and I feel this tap on my shoulder. I had no idea who it was. I turned around and saw it was his face, and he was like this with his card, reaching out. And I was now pissed.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
For 2 reasons. One was, what is wrong with you for doing this? And 2 is, you're being disrespectful to the guy on the stage.
Yes.
And I looked back and I just shook my head. I said, "No, I don't want it." And I whispered it. I turned back around, and this thing came flying by me and landed on the table right in front of me. He actually frisbeed it to me. And so what I tell everyone today, please do not become what I call a business card ninja, where you're throwing those stars around everywhere you can. Stop it. It doesn't work. It just rejects people. It just pushes me. I don't carry a business card anymore at all. Right. If people want to, you don't really need to, actually, to be honest. Get on. You can find me on Facebook. We'll do it that way, or LinkedIn, whatever. Yeah. But really, even before that was prominent, I just stopped carrying them because of that incident. I was like, if I don't share enough value with them for them to ask me for my card, then I don't deserve to give it. So I use that as a rule going forward. Is like, if they don't ask me for it, I'm not giving it. I'm not going to shove it in anybody's face. And I learned that from my mentor. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's right.
So please don't be a business card ninja, everyone out there, please.
That's a public service announcement.
Yes.
In the South, we would say, "Bless his heart."
That's awesome. Okay, I got one for you. Yeah. If you were me and you were conducting, not like me, but if you were on this side and you were talking to yourself on the other side and you were conducting this interview, what question would you like to ask of yourself? And then what would your answer be?
Wow. I don't know. You've asked me just about everything that I can think of. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm stymied.
What do you do for fun in your non-work time?
So I just became, for the first time, a grandma.
Ooh, congrats.
Yes, thank you. So my daughter, Allison, and her husband, Caleb, have Haley, who's 2.5 months old. And so whenever possible, I'm hanging with Haley. And so that's my fun. My husband's an avid gardener, so I try to help him in the garden. And when I need to take a break, I go out and I take pictures, like close-up pictures of the flowers. And that's my way of kind of clearing my head and helping me work through things that are going on in the office. So anytime I can get out in nature, that's where I am. That's how I enjoy myself. So
well, you had me at grandmother because there's no way you're old enough to even be one. So
thank
I don't know where you're going with that. I don't know where that came from, but
yeah,
I love it. And yeah, it's important to have fun. And my goodness, we are getting near the end of our time, and that is a good sign because, well, it's a good sign because that means I'm having a blast. I don't know about you, but I'm having an absolute
this went
blast.
fast, real fast.
Flew by. But before anybody drops off, listen, we got a couple things left, and one of them is a doozy of a question for Tricia. You do not want to miss this because it's an amazing question. I literally asked this of every guest expert who's been on the show. I hope Lloyd didn't give that away to you earlier, and because it's an intriguing question, and the answers have been amazing, just mind-blowing amazing. I just love them. Before we do that, we got a couple of gifts to give away. So what I want to do is let's do ladies first. Tricia, you mentioned you had a gift to give away, and is there a website I should pull up, or let me just pull that one up that we have?
Let's see. So I talked about the CRAVE Your Goals ebook. So it basically goes through the 5 CRAVE steps, just like I would do in my program. And let's see. So I think we decided that anyone could email me with CRAVE in the subject line to get that, and then also get my newsletter. And then the coaching session. So one-on-one remote coaching session. If something that I said perhaps today, or something that you see on my website, my blog, or my videos intrigues you, then let's do a 1-hour remote coaching session. And how do we pick the winner? How does that part work?
Do you want to do it for just one person?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Let's have the first person that emails you, they win.
Okay.
So that way
sounds
you're
good.
Getting people to email you. Is that the one with a different subject line?
So I think if you just say coaching, or crave in the subject line is for the CRAVE Your Goals ebook, which everybody gets, and the newsletter. But I guess the first person that asks for that, I can also do a coaching session. That's a $250 value.
Wow.
That sound good?
So everybody who emails you at Tricia@TriciaMalloy.com with the word CRAVE in the subject line will get the ebook, correct?
The ebook and my newsletter, and then I guess the first one
gets the 1-hour coaching.
Yeah.
Let me pull up my email application so I can get that one in first. So I will I've got to tell folks this, that listen, these are opportunities that don't come by very often. I know this all too well. You are looking at, next to me, a very highly successful woman who understands and gets it, who can then help you to understand and get it so that you can take your life to the next level of success, whatever that means to you. And to have someone of her caliber to make this kind of offer, to get information from her, number one, and then to have the opportunity to spend an hour on the phone with her or Zoom or whatever it's going to be, priceless. And I kid you not. What do you have a price you would normally charge? Or do you do hourly?
Yeah, $250. Mm-hmm.
250. So come on. Oh, you mean 2,500, right?
No, for 1 hour. But I have longer programs at 2,000 for six sessions, and then ongoing exercises in between. I find that when I do my programs, my leadership programs for companies, they often want to go to the next level. So I do individual and group coaching. And so this would be an individual coaching session. Whatever's on their mind, hopefully I can help.
Did you hear that, ladies? Come on. whatever's on your mind. So she's not even talking about, I just coach you on leadership for corporations, although that would be a good reason to get in touch with her because that's her forte, or marketing. That's why I'm going to be the first one to email her so I can get that. But please treat her with the utmost respect. Realize that she is spending an hour of her time, if you're that first one, and realize you're getting something of value in return just for emailing her at all to get the ebook and the newsletter, because you want to stay connected with someone like her, of her caliber, in any way you can.
And if anyone is interested in the testimonials, the website is testimonialwritingservice.com, and you'll see information there. I try to keep it simple.
I didn't have that one loaded up. Testimonialwritingservice.com. Mm-hmm. Testimonialwritingservice.com. I'm doing that for everyone out there so they get that. And remember, email Tricia, that's Tricia at Trisha Malloy, and that's MOLLOY.com, and put the word crave in the subject line and just say, pick me. And whatever else you want to say to her with respect. And maybe ask her, is there anything I can do to serve you and help you? Oh, there's a twist. Yes, that's another technique for seminars and marketing. All right, we got one more prize. And so with this, remember in the beginning, talked about the importance of staying with us and taking notes and all that good stuff. Well, I'm going to do something kind of crazy and tell you that right now, we are both going to give you permission to take your gaze away from the screen ever so momentarily and take out your cell phone. You remember those, and bring up your messaging app, text messaging app, because what you're going to do to enter this incredible contest, if you will, is on the screen right now. And that is where you would type in the name of the person you're going to text. Instead of that, type in this number, 314-665-1767. And then down where you would actually type in the message, where those emojis would go. We're not using any emojis here. It's 2 words separated by a dash or a hyphen. It's peak, P-E-A-K, dash, vacation. And then tap that send button. And then what's going to happen is you're going to get a response. Be sure to follow the directions so that you can officially be entered to win a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort. I promise you, it is coming. There will be a time when we'll be free to move, not only about the country, but the world. And it's been sponsored by our friends, the Big Insider Secrets. And that is Jason Nass, my good friend, and his company. We appreciate them for doing that. So be sure to do that. Do that right now, because we're going to come back and finish with that incredible question. So 314-665-1767, and then type in the words peak-vacation in the message and tap send. And now let's get back to the woman of the hour. That's Tricia Malloy. So like I was saying earlier, this is a very heavy-hitting question in some ways.
Okay.
It can be personal. The good news is the only reason it's personal is because the only answer you give is the right answer. There's no such thing as a wrong answer. That's what makes it personal, because it's what it means to you. So now it's like, whew, all right, we can just relax and crush it. So some have taken a few moments to reflect. Some just had it like then. Whatever it is for you is just perfect for you, because it's your answer. And so if you need a few moments, take a few moments. Dead air time doesn't bother me at all. And it shouldn't bother anyone else. It just builds the suspense. That'll be even better. So with that, are you ready?
Yeah, I guess I am.
All right. I know you are. All right. Tricia Malloy, how do you define success?
Oh, okay. What? That's actually pretty easy for me. I define success by living on purpose. And so what I mean by that is, probably about 25 years ago, I got really clear about what my purpose in life was. And what I did was I looked at what motivates me, what I value, and also what my natural gifts were. And to me, it was almost like a recipe. You put those 3 things in a bowl and mix them up and see what you got. And so, let me see. Where do I? Oh, yeah, okay, I have it here. So I came up with my life purpose and I put it in a frame. and I keep it, I don't know if you can see that. I keep it on my credenza, and I look at it when I need to make decisions or when I'm at a crossroads. And so my purpose is, through support and by example, I inspire others to follow their dreams and live joyfully on purpose. And if you can imagine, Brian, I came up with this way before I wrote my book and started my speaking business. Is when I had my marketing business. And I purposely wanted to put in there by example. It wasn't just support, it was by example, because I wanted to keep encouraging myself to take chances and to try new things and to achieve things, so that for myself, but also to as an example and a role model for other people. So through support and by example, I inspire others to follow their dreams and live joyfully on purpose. And I feel like that's what I do. I live joyfully on purpose.
That was powerful. I love that. Oh, and by example is, to me, that was the big one. And when you said that, I was like, oof, yes. Yeah,
I didn't want to be one of those motivational speakers that, doesn't walk their talk. So I'm far from perfect, but I try pretty hard at being authentic and genuine and really making the most of this one life that we have.
And, that just speaks volumes about your integrity, your character, and that everyone on this planet should email you and get connected with you. And
on LinkedIn too. That's a good way to start a relationship. I hope you'll do that. So
go on to LinkedIn, find Tricia, connect with her, and don't sell her anything.
Please don't.
Just say, look, I want to just talk to you. Can we just have a regular conversation? Can we how can I serve you is the best way to open it up. Say, Tricia, what is your biggest hurdle right now? Is there anything I could possibly do to help? And if I can't, I might know somebody who could. What a great opening that could be. Instead of, hey, Tricia, so great to meet you. I can't wait to connect. Hey, I want you to go over to XYZ, watch my webinar, and buy my crap. Don't do that. That's what we're seeing a lot of these days on LinkedIn.
Yes, I know.
Tricia, you are a gem in so many different ways. I appreciate you.
Brian.
I have no idea. I mean, your time is so valuable, and I respect that. And
I respect everyone tuning in, and
yes.
Hopefully there was something there that you can benefit from. So, and I really appreciate the work that you do.
Thank you so much. I mean, you think that people got something? They got over a page worth of something, because I was doing the same thing. So,
and please email me your vision board. I'd love to see what's on there.
Ooh, okay.
Email me a picture of that, if you're okay with that.
I'm a transparent, open curtain kind of guy. I don't care anymore. I'm 56. People don't accept me for who I am. That's okay. I may not accept all of them either, and that's it. It doesn't bother me. No, I never had a problem with that. So yeah, I would love to. I'd love your feedback and say if there's something that I could do to improve it. Okay. I love feedback, and you talked about it with feedback. I loved how you interviewed your client when you were done speaking to say, well, what else could I do to improve? That's so powerful. That's a whole nother hour segment we could go on. So gosh, but I want to respect everyone's time. We've gone over a little bit. My goodness. Thank you, Tricia.
My pleasure.
Cannot express enough gratitude for you coming on tonight. Whew. On behalf of this amazing, amazing woman, Tricia Malloy, I am your host, Brian Kelly of the Mind Body Business Show. That's it for tonight. We'll see you again next week on another phenomenal edition of this very show. Until then, so long and be blessed, everyone. Take care. Thank you for tuning in to the Mind Body Business Show podcast at www.themindbodybusinessshow.com. My name is Brian Kelly.